Hey guys, Alan here. Got a little project going on. So I got this HP 3P 3D scanner here. Dual cameras, turntable setup. So I purchased this on Fleabay. Got a good steal on it with the one camera. Found another one. It came in this cheap ass cardboard box, and I don't know. You got thousands of dollars worth of shit, put it in a cardboard box, not really feeling it. So I want to be able to transport this if I need to scan at my buddy's shop or anything like that. So I picked up a Pelican case, a 1650, pretty good sized case, and I got Kaizen foam for it. Now cutting the Kaizen foam, I'm no expert on it, and it looks like trash when I do it. You can't keep the blades straight. You end up either having to taper in or out. It doesn't look right. So today's goal in this video is to make a holder for the Kaizen knife. I'll show you. I got the whole kit from them, which is pretty sweet. Don't get me wrong. It's a nice little kit. Comes with all the different pieces. Different colored markers for the different foams, the hole cut out, the different knives. It's pretty sweet, you know what I mean? Made it easier. Yeah, you could buy all this shit cheaper individually if you're only doing, a little here and there. But I figured in the future I'll use it. So I'm using this middle of the road knife. And, it just doesn't cut it. You know what I mean? Literally. It cuts the foam fine, but it doesn't cut. You can't keep it right, perfectly horizontal to everything and make a nice circle or any of that shit. So today we're going to take the 3D scanner. I'm going to scan in this knife, convert it, put it in CAD, Fusion 360, and make a holder with a larger base that's flat that I can put against the foam that'll keep the knife perfectly straight. And then I'll be able to cut nicer holes, 3D print it. We'll go through. So I'll set up the camera and I'll show you how it works and how I can 3D scan this bad boy in, and we can start making some parts. So, all right, guys. So I cut a little closer, but on the left here we got my Alienware laptop hooked up, running HP 3Scan Pro 5.6, and what I've done is I've got the Kaizen knife set up on my little turntable here, and adjusted the cameras so they both show it. Now, there's a few ways of doing this. Basically, you get everything in frame on both cameras, and then you dial it in. They both have adjustment for exposure and your contrast, and so you set it up to get a really nice. You can see the pattern correctly. Now you can paint these. It does help a lot. I'm choosing to wing it for this because this isn't like super detailed. I gotta perform miracles here. So to paint it, you can use, there's a couple options. You can go with like, let me grab it and I'll show you. Just makes it easier. But painting it, there's a couple companies out there that make some that will disappear after, say, 15, 20 minutes, all that jazz. But usually I use this Spot Check. It's made by Magnaflux, and it's a nice light spray on it, keeps it nice and white, but you can wipe it off easy. If you have a part you want to scan a lot, go with some primer, literally just some primer, and it'll give you a much better result where you don't have to worry about handling it. A lot of this, when you handle it and you touch all this shit, it gets messed up pretty quick. It doesn't take long. So once I've got the part set up and ready in the software on the cameras, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the part away, and then I'm going to grab a calibrator. I'll show that next. I'm actually going to calibrate the cameras and everything to it. and then I'll scan. So let me set this back up and I'll show you the calibrator. All right, here's the calibration plate. It's a double glass plate. You got 30, 60, 120, and then the full size of the back plate. They're all different calibrations. You can actually print your own and do whatever you want with that for different sizes and everything. But I'm just going to do it here in the 60. Show you real quick. Hopefully it shows up on the camera. But you hit calibrate, and the projector and the cameras will go through, and it'll do multiple different patterns on it, and that will calibrate the cameras and the projector distance for the best accuracy you can get. Once it goes in this full-size little checkerboard pattern here, that means that you've got it calibrated and you're ready to scan. So I'll move the calibrator. We'll put the knife back in there and I'll show it scanning. All right, we got our knife back in place on the turntable here. Got the software set up for 12 scans. It's going to auto rotate, and it's going to grab 2 photos, full scans every 30 degrees for this. So it takes a little while. I'm going to hit scan here and let her rip. And probably take, I don't know, anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes for a full scan. Now, this scan is should be accurate within about 50 microns. Once it goes through and it does the full scan, I'll take you over to the software and I'll show you how we shape it and fuse it, and I can put it in the Fusion 360. So I'll probably time lapse it. All right, so now you see the scan's done. It took long enough, but what it does is it'll populate all the different scans, put it in to a pretty sweet mesh. Now, it ain't perfect, don't get me wrong. I didn't spray it. There's a lot of shiny surfaces which have a big problem with scanning. Now, a couple options. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off the bottom here because I don't want any of this. So let me get rid of all that. Boom. Oh. Now I want to look for any artifacts, because you will get some. It's going to happen as a scan. There's a couple. Get rid of that. There's a couple more. It's not too bad. So overall, it's a halfway decent scan. If I painted it, if I took more time, but there's no reason. It's a $5 knife that I'm going to try to do. So what I'm going to do is keep the sharpness about the same resolution as high as I can get it. I'm going to have it close all the holes for it, which, and then I'm going to fuse it. Now, fusing takes forever. I'm going to hit fuse. I'm going to let it rip. Main problem with it's a ton of computing power. This is an Alienware. It's a couple years old. It's got the Skylark i7 in it, 32 gigs of RAM, solid state drives, and it still takes a while. So let this go and I'll come back when it's done. All right, well, here's the full fusion of it. Actually didn't take as long as I would have thought. Looks pretty damn good. Yeah, there is some artifacts and that, but you think about it, that's a shiny metal surface. Absolutely terrible for scanning. And I mean, usually you'd say no, Dice, you would never try this. But all I'm going to do is be able to use this as a roadmap to design in Fusion a little handle for it, basically. So why go crazy? So I'm going to save this bad boy. In my scans. As an STL, I could save it as a bunch of different stuff. And it's gonna save the scan. Boom. All right, it's been saved. Let's see how big this thing is. So a lot of these scans take a ton of memory. So let's see. Actually, not too bad. Where is it at? 137 megabytes modded in each hit. So, but now I can take this, import it. Actually shows a full picture of it too, which is kind of wild. All the different scans, and now I can import it and in a Fusion, and we'll go make some parts. All right, so after a lot of work, a lot of problems, this is it. So there's your knife. There's your little fancy dancy doodad there. So it's all been scanned, modeled, and then I 3D printed it. I used my, I have a Prusa Mark II S. I used a Talman 910 nylon, basically, for it, just because I had it. That's what I used. And nothing too special. Just sliced it up, printed it out, and made it fit. Now, if the laptop here would give me a little better power and make this a lot easier. So I'm gonna be building a new computer because it was a nightmare. It was probably 3 hours to design this when it should have taken like 10 minutes. But so it's done. Should be nice for cutting the foam, make life a lot easier. But that's just a little overview of scanning, designing, printing, and making something that you can actually use. So till next time, I'll catch you later.